Hey everyone, so I don't know if anyone's going to see this video or not, but I just wanted to, make this video to share what I have received regarding this whole September thing. So, what's been going on is there's been so many people who've been talking about September, more importantly, September 23rd to 24th, which is Rosh Hashanah, the Feast of Trumpets. And so, of course, there's a lot of people who they're either going to be agreeing with us, or they're going to be saying that you can't set dates. And, of course, there's been so many dates that have, come and gone and everything. And, But so I just wanted to make this video to share something personal what I have received as I believe to be a form of confirmation. So it was a few weeks ago when I heard about the September video, when I actually saw it regarding September, the Feast of Trumpets, and sounded good. Wasn't sure about it, so I prayed about it, and it was during prayer. This is what I heard. Okay, this is what I heard. I heard September, there will be a shifting, and a September 23rd glory. So what does that mean? I don't know. I mean, the word shifting pretty much refers to a change, for example, you shift gears in your car, right? You're changing from like one gear to another gear, or you're sitting in a chair and you shift positions, right? Or something. So the shifting, I believe, refers to there's going to be a change, something coming in September that will be a change. What that may or may not be, I don't know. Now, as for the September 23rd glory, again, I'm not really sure what exactly that could mean. Perhaps it is the rapture, because that would be a glorious event if it happened, the rapture. But there may also be some kind of amazing sign or wonder that may happen that, would give God all the glory, of course. So, but that's what I heard when I prayed, pretty much. It was that same day. I don't remember when that was. And then when there was also this other time that I prayed, again, it was after that, a few days, and I heard September 22nd, there will be a sign. So, I don't know what that could be, but that's what I heard. Alright, now, it was, some point, also, I believe in between that, where I had this dream where I was in the house that I grew up in, and there was this woman there that I have no idea who she was. TV was on, like some kind of, like a news broadcast of some kind. I don't remember the full details of what was actually like being displayed or talked about, but somehow the conversation come up of the day of the rapture. I don't know if it's like something the woman said or something someone said on TV, but someone was talking about the day of the rapture, saying it was one day, and then in the dream I said, no, it's September 23rd. So, was that dream from the Lord or not? Well, I don't know, because, I have a lot of weird dreams, so, but this is something that I thought was interesting that happened. But, with the thing I find really interesting is that, so, on August 15th, I was praying, so, I don't know if any of the rest of y'all have this problem, but I oftentimes don't know what to say. That's a problem. That's just, I don't know what to say. But it was on that day I felt like I just, I needed to pray. But I didn't know what to say. So I just kind of started worshiping the Lord. And so I forget what the time was when I started. I think around maybe, I don't know, somewhere between 9:10 and 9:12. I don't remember the exact time. But anyways, the point is, whenever I finished praying, I happened to look up at my clock, and it said the time 9:23. And yeah, I was like, wow. And then I happened to look down just for a quick moment, and then I looked back up at the time, and it had changed to 9:24, which is right there, in between the, where the Feast of Trumpets, 9:23, 9:24. And I just thought that was, pretty cool. Because I mean, people say there's no such thing as coincidences. Well, if there's no such thing as coincidences, then, I mean, there you go. And of course, so with all the things that we see going on with earthquakes, volcanoes, I mean, we even have tsunamis now, which is crazy. See, I remember early in the year, I was watching some videos, people saying that the rapture was going to happen like in March or May, something like that. Of course, it never happened. But all these people are saying over and over again that it's this year. So, but I mean, yeah, it didn't happen. But what's crazy is that, I mean, here we are going in the second half of the year and moving on till the end of the year, and we all of a sudden start having these super increased volcanoes, earthquakes. We have volcanoes going off that haven't gone off in a long time, like that one volcano in Russia that hadn't gone off in 600 years after that 8.8 magnitude earthquake, and then boom, and then like there's all this stuff going on, and then the tsunamis, like there was I think the most recent tsunami was in Alaska due to a landslide after a whole ton of earthquakes like that, and then not only that, but you also now have, the UN gathering on September 23rd to effectively declare a Palestinian state. And all these countries getting along with that, and you see all these talks about wanting peace and safety. I mean, that wasn't happening earlier this year, and it's happening now, okay? And then there's the whole thing with the red heifer sacrifice, which there are those who say that was the real. Of course, it's not really a sacrifice; it's some kind of cleansing ritual, not technically a sacrifice. But there are people saying that was the real deal. There are people saying it wasn't because it has to happen on the Mount of Olives. But there are people saying that, hey, yeah, they actually went ahead. They did it. So I mean, yeah. But something I find really interesting is the fact that this year alone, a historic event happened where the Jews, after years and years, they're allowed to actually openly pray on the Temple Mount now. That hasn't happened in a long time. So, I mean, we're talking September shifting. I mean, well, yeah, something's going to be changing, I can tell you that. But now, here's the thing, though, that really is interesting. So, there are some people that they say that the rapture will be between 23rd and 24th. Some people saying it will be between the 22nd and 25th. One person I saw online said something about the 27th, I think it was. So basically we're looking at the rapture all through that week, from the 21st, September 21st to September 27th. Pretty much that whole week is pretty much, they're looking at that to be rapture week. Alright, now, that being interesting enough, here is what's happening in my personal life that really makes this interesting. So, this week of the rapture, we'll say, 9/27, September 27th, I have a cousin who's getting married. I'll be going to her wedding on September 27th. And that right there, I find that to be interesting. Because, again, no such thing as coincidences, right? So how is it that she happened to plan her wedding right there at the very end of this Rapture week? And here's what's interesting. So she lives in North Carolina. I live in Tennessee. So in order to get there, that's going to be actually a 3-day drive. Because it's going to be 1 day there, day for the wedding, and then 1 day back. So I'll be returning home on September 28th, which is Sunday, the first day of the next week. And so that alone, I mean, the rapture is supposed to be us, the church, going to the wedding of Christ. And here I am on the week of, the rapture, going to a wedding, and then the next week, returning home, technically, because Sunday. And that is interesting because, Daniel's 70th week, 7-year tribulation, it's like a week, right? Typology. So I just found that interesting. Like, here I am this week going to a wedding, and then the next week coming back. I mean, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, that to me seems like a bit of a little connection there. They say there's no such thing as coincidences. And even on top of all of that, with the whole just September shifting, I also already see some things that are going on with my job. Yeah, things are going to be changing here soon. And, there are lots of spiritual attacks on the rise. A lot of things going on. So, with just what I see here in my personal life, now, have I gotten a absolute definite word of yes or no? No, I haven't. But what I've just shared with you here in this video, there's definitely something. There's definitely something. So, what I would say is keep looking up. Our redemption draws nigh.